This morning, the Biden administration asking the U.S. Supreme Court to let the pandemic-era policy Title 42 come to an end, but just not yet.
Title 42 is set to lift today, but the Supreme Court ordered to temporarily keep that rule in place after 19 Republican-led states filed an emergency appeal. National correspondent Mara Sirianni has been following these developments all week for us, and she has more on the administration's response. So what do we know?
Yeah, good morning, guys. So the Biden administration is, like you said, seeking another pause here, at least for a week until after the holidays, before ending the controversial Trump-era policy, while at the same time sending more and more resources to deal with this humanitarian crisis unfolding at the border. Title 42 was expected to end today, but on Monday, Chief Justice John Roberts froze the deadline after 19 Republican-led states filed an emergency appeal to keep it in place. Policy was set by former President Trump during the height of the COVID pandemic to keep migrants from entering the country and spreading COVID-19, and authorized agents to expel migrants without giving them an asylum hearing. Now, in its response, the Justice Department said it opposed the bid by GOP-led states to keep Title 42 in place, at least while legal challenges play out. In Tuesday's submission, Solicitor General Elizabeth Prelogar wrote, quote, "The government recognizes that the end of Title 42 orders will likely lead to disruption and a temporary increase in unlawful border crossings." She goes on to say the government in no way seeks to minimize the seriousness of this problem, but the solution cannot be to extend indefinitely a public health measure that all now acknowledge has outlived its public health justification. The last-minute legal wranglings come as federal officials and border communities have been bracing for the unprecedented surge at the southern border. Officials stationed near the border warned they are not prepared to handle this. Last night, Democratic Senator Joe Manchin calling to, quote, "stop the insanity."
You have to have a secured border. There have to be points of entry. There have to make sure that people go through the proper vetting process. And those are all things that we can do, but until you secure that border, and that seems to be where the big rub is, how secured should it be? What should you secure it? It's going to take everything.
And while the Supreme Court has no deadline on this, justices are expected to move pretty quickly on the matter. In fact, a ruling is likely to come within a matter of days. Now, in the meantime, the White House announcing yesterday that President Biden is expected to travel to Mexico next month to speak with Mexico's president for the North American Leaders Summit. Guys, immigration is certainly a topic that is expected to be on the table during that meeting.
That is for sure. Mara Sirianni reporting. Thanks, Mara.